I was 6 years old, and this is one of my favorite stories to tell in my life. I was 6 years old at a restaurant with my parents and their friends. My dad's a lawyer, and his friend is a lawyer. So these are people that my parents wanted to impress and stay friends with, right? So I've used the restroom, and I go, this is a beach restaurant as well. I go sit, and I use the restroom, and as I'm sitting there, I'm just pondering life, and all of a sudden, a snake falls on my head. My pants are around my ankles. I'm 6 years old. So what does a 6-year-old do? Pants around my ankles. I run out. In the middle of the restaurant's looking at me. Mom, snake. That's all I can say. And from that day forward, yes, that's a real story. And from that day forward, I've been terrified of snakes. It was in that communication that I realized the power of being able to say what you want to say directly. I think that the most important thing a leader can do is communicate with their people directly. Just as John Marshall once said, to listen well is as important a means to communicate and influence as to talk well. And that's very important. So today I want to talk to you about 3 things, or hopefully teach you 3 things, the important 3 things. First, to listen to individuals on all 3 levels above you, on the level of you, so your peers a little below you. Second, to be able to lead groups and to make sure that they can communicate as well and get their message across to each other, groups and teams. The third is to find your no man within your group. And these are 3 very important things. So the first I'm going to talk to you about is to listen to individuals above you and below you, because that is very important. To listen above, it means that you're able to, first of all, get information you don't already know that can affect your mission for the better. To listen to below you and to understand the person that you're trying to lead. This is leadership, folks. This is what we're trying to do here today. Finally, to listen to your peers. Because there is no better person that is going to tell you when you're wrong than people that are in the same level as you. Your leaders can do it, and you can say, okay, people below you probably won't do it. But your peers, they'll tell you off. They'll tell you what's wrong with you, and maybe even how to fix it. The second part that I was talking about is to lead teams to communicate better so you can conduct your mission. What I mean by this, and it's been done across multiple studies, they've shown that teams where everyone contributes to the conversation have had a better impact on their company than teams that don't communicate, where they have a few powerful communicators and then some people don't talk at all. This is true, people. This is true. If you have 9 people on a team and 3 people are communicating, and the rest aren't, you're losing valuable information that you could have. So how do you get people to communicate? Do you ask them questions? Do you say, what are some ways? Do you facilitate the conversation? This is one of the most difficult parts of leadership, is making sure that everyone communicates, that everyone contributes to the conversation so that your team, so that the people that are under you and above you can know what your team is accomplishing. The final one is find someone to be your no man. And this is a proverbial no man. So someone who comes to you and anything that might be brought up in conversation, they might say, let's think of this first. Why should we do this? What other methods can we do to get this, to achieve the same mission? And this can be anyone. This can be someone who you might say, can you be my no man? But it's important because that is what's going to facilitate the talking and facilitate everyone communicating their own ideas. And words are powerful. Words are the most powerful thing we have. Pablo Neruda, a famous Spanish poet once said of words, dan cristal a cristal, segra a la segra, y dan vida a la vida, las palabras. Which means they give crystal to crystal, blood to the blood, life to life, the words. Words have power. They influence our economy. They influence our military, our intelligence. They influence everything. If you're not able to effectively lead your teams, to effectively communicate what your teams are doing above, below you, and at the same level, if you cannot find in yourself to correct your peers and also take correction, then your team is going to crumble. Your organization will crumble. Because I will say that there has probably been no organization in the history of histories that hasn't communicated, that has done well, that has prospered, that has gotten its mission done. And while you're here, I want to challenge you to learn how to communicate better to your peers, to those around